How's it going, YouTube? It's Panda time. In this video we have myself playing Baihumon going up against Magnagarurumon. So obviously I love Magnagarurumon, and you guys know I've been trying to make Baihumon work for quite a bit. I see still the same build that I did have before, and I believe there's a deck profile of it up as well. If you guys are interested, definitely do check that out. We don't open up a rookie, but we are going to play a memory boost to pick up a Chikuri, which is kind of nice. Can then go into Nani to pass turn, trying to get to our level 6 as quickly as possible. I still think that Baihumon is a good Digimon that just doesn't really get to shine in this meta, and we'll see if that changes into BT10 as people are going to be playing more and more tamers than ever before, right? So we'll see. The Leomon is going to be swinging at security into Toyagumon, and then he's going to just keep going wide with the rookies here. The Stravy Man. You have Nanimon. Memory boost to work with, but might be whiffing on the 5. Gonna just play the tie to try and memory choke, ensure some memory for us, but Nanimon's kind of small. No, we're kind of just taking a bunch of chip damage here. Our security in the deck is pretty good. We do play punches and flares, so potentially it could be really, really strong here. It's gonna be a Baihumon. It's gonna clear the Leomon, but he's gonna get the memory and get the card draw. Leomon did so much work there for sure, right? He checked 2, gained memory, and drew card. Very, very strong. Stravy is going to swing into a punch. Can still swing with the other Stravy, so we're just taking too much damage here. You know, the speed of Magnagarurumon. Gonna go into a Kendo to swing with the Jammin. We at least get a Shademon for our troubles. You know, but it's too little too late. Gonna be a Tamer to pass turn so that he can set up Hybrid for game next turn, right? So, are we finally able to go into a level 6 here is the question. We are definitely struggling. Gonna be the Magnagarurumon. Ensure that our level 6 is going to have blocker if we do have one, and hopefully we have one, because, you know, we need anything right now. I still have the memory boost to work with as well. Have to clear the board, only have a singular Shademon right now, it's not a lot. So it's going to be the Baihumon to restand both these guys. Give me 3 memory to work with. Then we can swing at security. And Super Gun punch it, so we're gonna have 2 blockers. End of turn, we trash security. Not the worst, right? Like, we are able to memory choke him. I'm not able to clear his board, but we're able to push through some damage. And, you know, we do have 2 blockers on the board. It is, you know, Hammer Spark plus Hybrid for game, but I suppose that's the best that we had. Punch is going to potentially save us. The Stravon does survive the punch. So we're hanging in there, right? We're staying alive. You know, maybe going a bit greedy there, but by swinging at security, we're able to, you know, push and pressure, because, like, if the game goes on, eventually we'll just lose, right? So I think the idea is that we have to pressure his security as well, and I do like that concept. Gonna play Davis and take a Lobomon, except he's thinking about it, might be taking the Beowulf instead. Looks like Beowulf is gonna be the pick. So we still have 2 blockers on the board, but Ice Wall being cast means that my turn is pretty awkward. We're able to go into a Judge Tyranno to try and stay alive, Ice Wall to swing over, and then play the little tie so that we can restand our Baihumon for extra block. Seems pretty good, right? We have 3 blockers potentially. We're able to trash 1 security at the end of the turn through the Baihumon effect, which also sets us up for lethal next turn. So I think it's a good job of, you know, showing what Baihumon can do and how we can try and keep up with these aggressive decks through obviously some good security, which the deck is built around for. In a pretty good spot. That said, though, we know the Beowulf is there, and Beowulf is going to be a fantastic answer. He can swing and bounce one of the blockers. It is going to force me to block with the other one. I can at least use the Tamer to restand the Baihumon so that we don't just die to Hammer Spark plus Hybrid, right? That said, though, we're still in a pretty rough spot. So we have no security, and he has potentially 3 attacks next turn. Our Baihumon also does not have Reboot inherently, which is pretty sad. The Civil Punch was nice to give it a reboot for the turn, but without the Reboot Toyagumon, it's kind of a struggle. Gonna play a Baihumon to just continue going wide and ensure that he has enough memory to go for, you know, Hybrid Shenanigans next turn. Gonna Toyagu in the back. Puts us in a tough position. We need to try and clear. Definitely don't have game this turn, sadly. Baihumon is doing a good job of chipping away at security, but we're still not an aggressive deck by nature, so it is going to take just a little bit. So I'm going to a Tyrannomon. We're definitely just digging for pieces, trying to find some sort of answer, I would say. Monsamon still just digging for anything. We can swing over the Beowulf, but without a way to stop the attacks. That's just gonna be the game. In that game, you can see how not having the reboot can hurt so much. But granted, like, you're not always gonna have the Toagumon, it's just, you know, a 4-of, so it'd be like that sometimes. The little tie was nice to restand, but the Magna aggression was pretty good. Didn't really have any crazy plays for Magna, to be honest. Just playing rookies for searches, you know, some good hybrid plays, and Beowulf is still too good to this day. Gonna be a double Stravi opener. We do open a rookie this time around, which is kind of nice. Once again, into the early Nanimon and Magnagarurumon. So a very similar stack to our previous game. But at least we're able to go into it right away, which might, you know, be worth more this time around. We expect the Stravi monster gonna just keep swinging for chip damage. Gonna play Hammer Spark first though for some extra memory. Really liking the jamming on the Kendo. Once again, swings to a Shade One. I feel like we almost watched this game before, right? And then sets up a Sora Joe to make her life kind of awkward. We can swing over the Stravimon, then opt to go into the Baihumon. We're gonna get 3 memory back because he has 3 unsuspended things. We can then, you know, end of turn we're gonna trash one. I think swinging at security is okay here. Gonna be going to Gogmamon to deny Sora Joe memory, and I guess not swing at security just yet with the Baihumon, because the Gogmamon was not gonna have blocker, right? So I guess we just didn't want to take any more chip damage. He could swing and proc the Sora Joe, which makes sense. Can also get the card draw Fubumon, but then we could just block, right? So it's like we force the free deletion there, which I think, you know, definitely paid off to not attack on the previous turn. Gonna be setting up another Stravi to pass turn. We want to make sure we're not giving over Sora Joe memory if we can. The Baihumon is gonna attack this time around. We're gonna be, again, burning through that security. Gonna go into another Baihumon. This time around we get 3 memory back. Or we can choose to not resign a Sora Joe to just memory choke him to 1. At the end of turn is gonna trash 2 security because we have 2 Baihumon. And this time around you can see the Baihumon is putting in too much work, you know, working as both as a way to clear the board and push quite a bit of security damage. Can once again swing for Sora Joe, but once again the other Baihumon just takes a free block, and we are more than okay with this outcome. At this point we have 3 bodies, we're free to just swing, and that's gonna be the game. So a much quicker game 2 there. You know, the Baihumon game plan working as expected, and without like a hype Koji Magna play, he just did not have a good way to answer the Baihumon, right? He's just too thick, and we went into it for relatively cheap. We once again have the Nanimon open. I guess it's just a Nanimon kind of game. Gonna be going Stravimon into Davis. I'd say it's a pretty solid opener. We're gonna be going into a Gogmamon, setting up the little tie. Early on, maybe the, you know, memory fixer tie would be better, but I do like the little tie, you know, being able to double block goes a long way, especially when we have such big bodies such as the Baihumon. Gonna go hybrid into the Beowulf, taking back his hybrid potentially. I guess he's debating whether he swings and dies to security, which could be risky. Can just go into a Magna and bounce my 5 right away. So this is the safe play. And, you know, it potentially is going to be a huge difference there. If the Wolf swings and he dies, then we have a free 5 and he lost his. It's a massive, massive swing, right? So I respect him playing safe. Digivolving into Magna naturally could still be very powerful, as we saw there. We're going to once again just go back into the Gogmamon. So we have access to a level 6 if needed. The Magna can swing, take him back to get the restand. We're going to swing into a black memory boost, so Magna gets to live. Second swing into a Tamer. Pretty good security there, cannot complain. Chikurumon there. So actually I don't know about this, if you guys can help me out here. I'm not sure, right? Like, even as a judge, there's things I don't know. So Chikurumon has to de-digivolve something, right? Obviously rookies cannot be de-digivolved, but can I still target the rookie for a digivolution effect? Or in that case, am I forced to de-digivolve the Magna, which then gives him back the Davis? So we debate about this for a little bit. I don't know what is correct there. For the sake of the game, we say that I'm forced to digivolve the Magna, but I'm actually not sure if that's the correct outcome or not. If you guys know, you know, YouTube judge experts, I would love to know or hear your feedback, I guess. Strav is going to be played to search a Koji. So we can finally go into a level 6 after all these years. Gonna use the memory boost so we can maintain turn. Digiburst just in case. It's going to be the Genkumon. Genkumon is lowest play cost, I believe, so it's only going to kill the Stravi. So it's not a full board clear, right? And we're forced to swing at it. So definitely less than ideal, right? Like, not the greatest level 6 there. but can at least clear both the Digimon and potentially give us some pressure with Secure Attack +1. Gonna once again be going into the Leomon. We saw Leomon putting a lot of work early on. So we're gonna security into a punch. Punch is really good there. You know, give our Gankumon some extra block and DP, which is gonna go a long way. But that Leomon might be a problem for us to deal with. He's gonna just play the Koji he picked up early on and be set up for a potential game next turn, which I think is a pretty solid play. At this point, the Leomon is awkward, right? Like, we have to clear the Leomon, but it's one of the games where, like, I'm so focused on answering his board that we haven't been able to push any damage, and that's why I like the Baihumon, right? Because you can clear board and Baihumon naturally pushes damage. The Gankumon is not able to do that, so it's like, sure, we can clear the Leomon, but like, how do we win the game, right? Like, at some point, we're gonna just eventually get chipped out by the hybrids. We need to try and figure out our own condition. And I think that's one of the good things, or one of the things that matters a lot when trying to be a good Digimon player is like, you must think of like your game plan and like, always ask yourself, how do I win this game, right? Sometimes the answer to that question might not be as obvious as you think, and I think that over the course of the game, you need to make plays that are going to lead to you winning the game, even if those plays may be risky or, you know, low probability of success. You need to try and win the game. You don't win by avoiding losing, if that makes sense. He's going to get another Koji. We're going to play a center reset just to have another body out on the board. You know, potentially have 4 bodies next turn. I do have Super Golden Punch for some extra damage. Maybe we get +1 security with the Gankumon, and we at least have like a chance to try and win the game. I think is the idea there, going just a little bit wide. The Sunarisa is going to give the Gankumon piercing potentially, which can go a long way. Not having the blockers here is kind of a yikes though, and the Beowulf is once again way too powerful. He's going to be able to swing, keep pushing damage, and use effect to bounce. In this case, opting to bounce either the Nynamon or the Sunarisa, but either way, taking the body of the board hurts us quite a bit, sets us pretty behind. Thinking about how he wants to pass the turn. Unless we're looking at Hammer Spark Hybrid for lethal, which I suppose he doesn't have, or else he would have done that a bit quicker, right? So we do have a blocker coming up in the Tyranno, and potentially we have the tie for the double block, which is kind of nice, right? Like, you'd think, like, okay, we can at least block twice, maybe we're okay. The problem is that Koji is a pretty strong tamer. If you guys don't know, Koji lets your Digimon become unblockable. So in a case like this where we have no security, having blockers against Koji doesn't do anything. We're able to swing at security for 3 checks. You know, like I was saying, we at least have a chance to potentially try to go for game. But because we lost the Sunarisa, we're just not going to have enough swings. We're forced to flare, which can at least clear the board. But a singular, hybrid, and a Koji proc, we would not be able to block. It's going to be Kendo into the Beowulf. He's unblockable, and that's going to be the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching.